The old man stood by the rusted gate, hunched beneath the weight of a small black nylon bag and the shame of 12 forgotten years. The Harmattan breeze rustled his threadbare shirt, and he tugged the collar as though it could hide his face. He didn't knock. He just stood there, waiting, hoping. Behind the curtain of the house, Amaka's fingers trembled around the edge of the window. Her breath caught in her chest as she stared at the figure outside. Him, Baba. Even after all this time, she recognized him. His hair was white now, his shoulders were smaller. The man who once lifted her with ease now looked as though the wind could carry him away. But it was him, her father, the man who vanished with a gunshot and left only silence behind. She let the curtain fall. The air in the room grew heavy. Her heart drummed in her chest, not with joy, but confusion, rage, grief, all tangled. Why now? Why after Mama was gone, after Deji was grown, after the world had already taught her how to live without him? She remembered the day they took him. The echo of sirens, Mama screaming until her voice cracked. Amaka, only 12, crouched in a corner holding Deji, who was too young to understand why policemen were shouting. The neighbors gathered like vultures. Someone had whispered, "He shot someone, armed robbery." That night, their house no longer felt like a home. It became a tomb where Mama's sobs echoed and the air stank of fear. Amaka opened the door slowly. The rusted hinges groaned, as if even they disapproved. He looked up. Their eyes met. "Amaka," he said, voice dry and papery. "My daughter." She said nothing. I didn't know where else to go. She watched him. The old wooden bench beside the mango tree sat in silence, as though waiting for the ghosts of yesterday to sit again. "Mama's gone," she said coldly. He closed his eyes. "I heard. I wasn't told until it was too late." "You didn't, right?" "I did. They never sent the letters." "You didn't come." "I wasn't allowed." "And now you are?" He nodded slowly. "I served every day, every year, and then I waited." Amaka's throat tightened. She wanted to scream, to hit him, to ask him where he was when Deji had fever so high he started to hallucinate, when she had to sell Mama's wedding ring to buy food, when she considered stealing a phone just to sell it, but couldn't do it, couldn't go as low as he had. "You should leave," she whispered. His lips trembled. "Let me see Deji." "He's not here, he's in Unilag, and he doesn't remember you, not really." A breeze passed between them, and in it she swore she could hear Mama's voice, faint, tired, weeping. "I'll go," Baba said, eyes lowered. "If that's what you want." "But I had to see you. I had to try." He turned, his bag dragged behind him like an old sin. Amaka looked up at the sky. Rain clouds swirled above, the kind Mama used to call grief weather. She remembered her mother's soft hands, now cold beneath the soil of Yaba Cemetery, and how every year on Baba's sentencing day, Mama would light a candle and whisper, "I married a good man once, but hunger is a thief too." The gate creaked open again. "Wait," Amaka called softly. Baba stopped. "Come in, you can eat, then go." He turned back, surprised. Tears shone in his eyes, but he blinked them away. She opened the gate. Not out of forgiveness,
but because hate was heavy, and she was tired. Later, after he'd eaten the small bowl of yam porridge she'd silently placed before him, Baba sat on the old bench outside. The rain had begun, soft and cold, dripping through the mango leaves onto his head. He didn't move. Amaka watched him from the doorway. She could hear Deji's laughter from an old video on her phone. He had just won a campus award for a poem he wrote. She had raised him. She had shielded him. She had taught him how to tie his shoes, how to survive Lagos buses, how to pray. And Papa had missed it all. She stepped outside, arms folded tight. He looked up at her. "You have Mama's frown," he said with a weak smile. She didn't smile back. After a moment, she said, "You can tell me what prison was like." He blinked. "Why?"
"I want to know if you suffered."
Baba looked at his hands, weathered and scarred. I did. She sat at the far end of the bench, her knees stiff. Then tell me. He nodded slowly. The first year, I thought I'd die. I was put in a cell with men who no longer believed in God. I learned to sleep with my back to the wall. I saw a man stabbed for half a loaf of bread. I begged for soap. I washed my clothes with tears. I forgot what my children's voices sounded like. She didn't reply. There was a man there, he continued, voice cracking, Elder Jaide. He'd been in for 30 years. Said he found peace with God. He taught me the Psalms. I clung to them like food. Amaka looked away. I wrote letters every birthday, every Christmas. I wrote one when your mother died. I screamed for hours. They said I scared the new inmates. But nothing I went through in that place hurt more than knowing you were outside suffering. And I caused it. Ankaf's eyes were glassy. She bit the inside of her cheek. Did you ever think, she asked, what it was like for me? I watched Mama break a little more every day. One evening, I found her sitting in the dark, asking the wall if she was cursed. I'm sorry, he whispered. She stopped singing. A tear rolled down her cheek.
She used to sing while cooking, every evening, until one day she stopped. Then she stopped eating, then breathing.
I know, Baba said, voice barely a breath. She turned toward him. Do you know what it's like to raise a child when you're still one yourself? No. I worked at 16, sold boli by the road. People touched me, laughed at me. One man offered 5,000 naira if I'd go home with him. I almost said yes. I almost became like you. Baba's head snapped up. She nodded. I almost stole. I almost did things I can't even say. But you didn't, he said gently. No, I didn't. Because I kept hearing Mama's voice telling me, you're better than this, Amaka. We may be poor, but we still have our name. The rain was heavier now. Neither moved. Then, slowly, Amaka reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, crumpled envelope. She had found it tucked into an old Bible Mama left behind. I found this after she died. She handed it to him.
He opened it with shaking hands.
Inside was a letter, his handwriting smudged from water damage. To my beautiful children, Amaka and Deji. I don't know if this letter will ever reach you, but I want you to know that I think of you every night. I dream of your laughter. I dream of Mama's Akara in the mornings. I dream of walking you to school again. I know I failed you. I know I deserve this cell. But I pray one day you will forgive me. Not because I deserve it, but because hate is a poison that lives in the one who drinks it. And I pray that you live free. Baba's hands trembled. The letter fluttered in his lap. She kept it, Amaka said. She never told me, but she kept it. He covered his face with his hands and sobbed. Amaka sat still. The weight in her chest had shifted. Not gone, but moved. Deji is coming home tomorrow, she whispered. You can see him. But if he says you must go, you go. Baba nodded through his tears. She stood. The guest room has clean sheets. She didn't wait for a thank you. She walked inside, past the photos on the wall. One was crooked. Mama, smiling with her hands flour-dusted, holding a young Deji. She fixed the frame. She paused at the mirror by the door, looked into her own eyes, and whispered, I'm trying. Stay tuned for part 2, where Deji returns and faces the father he no longer remembers. Emotions will rise, secrets will be revealed, and one family will have to decide if broken can become whole again.